Good evening, and welcome to everybody online and in person here. Today is February 13th, 2024. I'm Phil Santoni, Program Chair of Section 1510 here in Southeast Florida. I'd like to introduce Kara Bryan, who's our chairperson for the section. I want to give Kara a minute or so for any announcements that she may have. Go ahead, Kara.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't be there. I'm home with the flu. But I just want to take a couple moments to tell you state of the section, what's going on. If you go onto our LinkedIn page right now, you'll see two really awesome things. For the students in our group, we posted our annual student scholarship. This year, we're giving out 2 scholarships, I think for $1,000 each. So please go and check it out. If you are a student, you don't even have to be a 1510 member. You can apply. The second is for all of our members, and it's our Member Value Award. So if you're looking to go to a conference or do a training, anything that's quality related, if you're a 1510 member in good standing, go ahead and apply. All we ask is that you tell us how it went and what you learned about it. That's pretty much it. Phil?
Thank you, Kara. I would like to introduce Nora Yortin. You may have an announcement that's related something to what Kara said, I think. So go ahead. It's your turn.
Thanks, Bill. So Kara touched on the first one. So 2 quick announcements. One was the scholarship program that we have, the Orlando Acevedo Scholarship. We had a bit of a break during COVID, obviously, but we resumed last year. And one of the main differences, or the main difference, pre-COVID, it was write everything down and put it in USPS mail and send it. But now we've gone all online for all application forms and submissions. So as Kara mentioned, right now on the section of Florida, section 1510 LinkedIn page, there's a link to the application form with details on the program. The second thing related to that one, this is specifically for Southeast Florida members, including student members. You don't have to be part of the parent, well, the student chapter is part of the parent branch, but we don't want the students to think that you're a student. This is for any member of Southeast Florida ASU. We have the Member Value Award. It's one of the things that we launched last year, which really is a program where we to provide, as the name suggests, value to the members, where the chapter sponsors fees for things such as trainings or conferences or even professional certifications. But there are some limitations. But it is a way by which you can get assistance to quality professional development, courtesy your membership here at Southeast Florida. That is also on the LinkedIn page. So if you go there, there's a link that's going to take you to the form for application with all the details. So I encourage you post the information, share it with other members that you may know, and for the scholarship program, share that with students, undergraduate or graduate students.
Yeah, just a real quick one. I mentioned briefly that on the 6th of March in this room, the student branch is going to have our next presentation. It'll be how process improvement and operations general support, let's say financial services and accounting, trying to help students develop visions on non-traditional vocations. Let's say you have an accounting background, should I get my CPA, or even if I have a CPA, maybe I want to use my accounting, but in other, like as a general manager, okay? Or same thing with financial services. So it's trying to help people understand how they can broaden their career or target it into non-traditional. If I don't want to be strictly an accountant or strictly a financial services, maybe I can leverage that into other fields. So this is going to be a discussion from a COO from a financial services firm who has industry experience in other firms, and we'll talk about, as well as a graduate student from our program, to talk about how that may be an option for something else. So that'll be on LinkedIn too. Even if you go on the regular page or the student branch group LinkedIn, those will be posted shortly.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, Carolina.
Hi, I'm Carolina. I'm the nominations chair for 1510. We currently have spaces available on the board if anyone's interested in being part of our lovely board. We have a couple of different opportunities. So if you're interested, you can also find my email on LinkedIn because there's a posting about that on there as well. So if you're interested in any type of board position, to spend a little extra time with us, it's a really good opportunity to kind of get your feet wet, start doing something in leadership with our team. And they're a lot of fun, so I recommend it. And so if you're interested, let us know. Thank you.
Our speaker tonight is Liane Sangollo. She's president of HRRH Vision Consulting. Liane has a proven track record in driving growth of industry giants like Walmart, LaRue Steel, Molson Coors Brewery, and Olimel, currently leading her HR consulting business. Spearheading growth for a diverse portfolio, including Fortune 500 companies globally in manufacturing, retail, IT, and services. She serves as an executive coach and trainer. Collaborating with CEOs and management teams, she leverages her board-level insights, neuroscience, and leadership principles to empower high achievers to exceed their goals. Fluent in French, English, and Spanish, Liane seamlessly integrates practical examples, tips, and tools into her consulting, coaching, and speaking engagements. Educated at HEC University Business School in Montreal, she holds a professional certified coach credential from the International Coach Federation and an applied neuroscience practitioner certification. Liane is the author of End Your Self-Sabotage, 8 Deadly Patterns Preventing You from Leading the Life That You Want, and OMG, I'm Rude to Others. So join me now, please, in welcoming Liane. We'll be talking about culture and success in organizations.
And we're going to do a brain gym exercise. So the exercise is to sharpen the two sides of the brain. You're sharpen the neurons. This is really interesting when you're learning. This is, or people, we have family members who have problems to learn. This is a great exercise. So I want you to look at me, what you're going to do. The right hand is going to go to your navel and you're going to rub your navel. The left hand, no. The thumb and the index under the collarbone, and you're going to massage. At the same time, your tongue gonna go up the palate. And when I'm going to do this, don't take your hand and follow me. I want your eyes to go left from right. And that's what we're going to do the other exercise. Okay? There's so many other exercises you can do. So we're going to talk about culture. What is culture? Right? Everyone has a definition of culture.
Different values,
Huh?
different values according to where your background or.
Yeah, you can talk about culture. Yeah, culture is where you go from different, but workplace, organizational culture. Okay. So let's see what is culture. Can someone comment about the supervisor behavior?
Very nice.
Not nice, supervisor, and I'm gonna write employees here, okay? Not nice. What else?
Demanding. Demanding.
Demanding? Okay, what else?
Unreasonable.
Unreasonable? Right, okay, no reason, okay, yeah, reasonable, all right, what else?
She did show recognition when she saw the conveyor belt. Oh, you did a fine job. So there was some recognition.
Was that?
Like, there was some recognition at
No.
the end.
What about, and what else?
Intimidating,
I'm sorry?
intimidating person. It was intimidating.
It was that stimulating?
No,
Intimidating.
Intimidating. What else?
Unattentive.
What else?
She was yelling at the employee.
Yes.
She didn't give any type of instructions.
No instructions?
No instructions.
We agree? Okay. There was no instruction. What else?
She didn't follow up during the work, during the job. She didn't follow up. She didn't.
No follow-up.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
Careless.
Careless. There was no care, okay. Let's leave it like that. What about the employees?
Trying to be the best for Friday.
They have fear. What else?
Non-confronting. Non-confronting.
They were like submissive?
Yeah, like they don't want to be confronted.
They were trying to please the boss or some way.
What else?
Unserious. They weren't serious.
No, serious. Okay. Something else?
Avoidant,
Avoiding?
avoidant.
Were they hiding? So most of you are in the quality insurance, right? Do you believe that at the end, if we have an audit of the production, what would happen?
You will fail. Yeah.
Would fail fail the audit, right? Do we agree? So if I would say to you that
If somebody in chat says poor communication on both sides.
the what?
Poor communication on both
Yes,
sides.
yes. For communication, okay, yes, thank you. If I would tell you, oh, no. What do you feel that you don't see in that video?
Oh, motivation, why are they even there?
No motivation?
Hmm?
No motivation?
Yeah, the motivation of the employees, why are they even there? So they don't seem to be having fun, it's not clear why they're even there.
Okay, no motivation. What else?
Anxiety.
There's anxiety, wait. What else?
The purpose of the role.
Yeah.
What else? We're talking about culture here. If I would tell you that in that company, I get in and I see the values, respect, employees as a voice, performance, quality, what would you say?
Nobody's,
Hmm?
nobody's.
Not so much.
No respect, fear, no motivation. How many companies, they have nice values on their board and they don't follow the talk? They don't walk the talk. This is a perfect example. What is visible and what is not visible in a company in terms of culture? You were talking about values, we're talking about behaviors. What sets the behavior in a company?
The communication.
More than the communication. Yes, communication is important, but what else? The word culture is from the Latin word collab, to cultivate. Organizational culture is how leadership tends to cultivate, takes care of its business, stakeholders, and also employees. Why sometimes you get into and you're waiting in the reception and you can just feel it. Feel what's going on and say, it'd be nice to work here, or Never happened?
Yeah.
The feeling? So in the culture, what is visible? It's easy to change. What is harder to change in terms of culture, right? What is your beliefs? What are your values and the assumption we make? What is visual? The artifacts, the behaviors, and also the matrix. However, when we look in the business, do we agree the triangle is people, process, results? Right? You want results, you need people, and you need process. Do we agree on that? But we need a culture. What set the culture? Because people will work for you, the experience they will have in the enterprise, their beliefs will turn into action, and we will get results. But what are your values? What are your values? When we look at job description, we look at different tasks. We agree? We look at requirements, right? But if I would ask, what are the values of the company that you're working for? What is the mission? I would say the vision, your golden North Star, where you see the company in 5 years, your why, how, your mission, and what are the core values of your company? Do you know the core values of the company? No? Someone wants to share?
The guiding principles on senior biomed. I work for senior biomed. And we have the guiding principles are the values. Our team focus, give back.
Give back?
Yes, and there's another two or three. But then those are, we have a slide that in every meeting we share with everyone. And the culture is to live the values.
I'll deliver the values. And why is that?
Because that drives the results.
Absolutely. If you have to put one tool in your chicken soup today, this is the one. Okay? When you work for a company, you have a vision where you see the company. And what is your why? And you need to set your values. What are your core values? Because this will set your culture. The values, how you practice, and how it will be your driving path about your behaviors, right? If one of your values is about having a voice, well, how do I behave to have a voice, right? And these are very important because this should be also represented in your assessment, your reassessment. What is easier to change and what is harder to change? Values, belief, assumption. Is it hard to change a behavior? Do you believe it's hard to change a behavior? It is? Let's do an exercise. You have a piece of paper. I want you to write your name, your signature with your dominant hand.
Name, answer.
Yeah, your full name and your signature with your dominant hand. Write your full name and signature. Was it easy? Now, I want you to write your first name, last name, and your signature with the other hand. With the other hand.
Just give me a credit.
Some are still working. Good.
Amazingly similar.
The people are in the Zoom, is it challenging? So how do you feel? Sorry? It was easy to write your first name, last name, signature without in 5 seconds, right? Now, how do you feel about writing your signature with the other hand?
Awkward.
Awkward?
Terrible.
Wow.
Why?
Or
That could be worse. It could be worse. What else?
It's hard.
Hard? Takes time. Demand to focus. Energy.
It can be done, but it's not impossible. But, you know, it's challenging.
So if I would ask you to practice every day for half an hour, do you believe in a month you're going to be better at it?
Yeah.
Huh?
2 months.
3 months? Right?
Oh.
It's important when we talk about behavior as well, how it's to take a step back, because 90% we're on autopilot. Our subconscious, we are trained to, and how do we change a habit, right? And when it comes to the culture, your driving path about culture is your values. And that's why I was asking, what are your values? What is the vision of the company, the mission? Ask yourself. Also, the core values of the company that set the behavior. You can feel the atmosphere. You watch the Lucille Ball, the chocolate factory, you could feel it was managed by fear, right? A dictator way to get things done. And what happened? No production, no motivation, no engagement, right? So if your culture is a driving path, the guiding road path for your strategies, goal, objective, activity, you will get the results. Does it make sense? Put that in your chicken soup. Again, the values is the central point of reference, which influence alignment. And the behavior, whatever behavior you allow as a leader, you implicitly conduct, it's important to realize that. You have a responsibility as a leader. The way you manage your people has to be aligned. Top, down, also down, top. About the culture. Very interesting. Who watched the Super Bowl? There was an interview at the Sports Center with Patrick Mahoney, and I don't know if you've seen the coach with Travis, who had kind of event on the sideline. And the interviewer asked him, what is the team culture when it comes to disagreement, and how can you move forward? And Patrick Mahoney responded, it was yesterday, I can send you the link, it was interesting. He said, oh man, brotherhood. We are a family. We say it how it is. We win together, we cry together, going back. Values, what they practice, behavior. But we have the same goal, it was about winning and making it happen. Strategy, goal, objective to get the results. I thought it was interesting, that question. So very important when you look to make a change in your career, dive into your values and what you're looking for, because it's very important as well. I brought it up, the psychological ownership about your belief. How will work and meaning to my life? How will work make me feel connected to something bigger than myself? Will work make me feel whole? And the other aspect I brought up, it's psychological safety. A belief concerning the group norm, what it means to be a member of that group. Then trust is a belief that one person has about another. Is it okay to take risk, to express ideas and concern, to speak up with question, and also to be humble how to admit our mistake without fear and negative consequences? And why I bring that up? Because we talk about diversity, we talk about inclusion, we talk, it's a big factor, but I believe in the core values, psychological safety and trust as an impact should be a foundation. And what does it mean, trust? When I say, I don't trust that person, or I don't trust him or her, what does it mean, trust?
You'll believe in what they say or do, even if you're not there to see.
Okay.
You usually believe that that person doesn't have any value.
Okay. Somebody else? Trust? Definition of trust, come on.
Actually, it's an alignment in the way of thinking, the mindset between two or more persons.
Okay.
You don't know what is like one person. The behavior can be totally different to what you see.
Good. Steve?
Alignment of values. You know, if you're misaligned, it's hard for you to consider the other's point and take it in a way that you think is supportive, because you can't relate to it in the same norm. Just, you're misaligned.
I'll give you the definition. I found Dr. Ronnie Brown. Do you know the Dr. Ronnie Brown? She wrote, she was at TED Talk. And as an analysis, she required a lot of data. And she came with a definition of trust. And the acronym is BRAVING. Have you heard about BRAVING?
No.
So trust is choosing to make something important to you vulnerable to the actions of someone else. Boundaries. I will have a relationship with you and you will have a relationship with me on trust if we can understand and respect our limits. It's also important that we understand the boundaries of others so trust can flow both ways. B. R. For reliability. We will have a trust relation based on reliability. Is when someone does what they say they're going to do over and over again. They cannot just follow through on the word only. A, for accountability. So we will have a trust relationship based on accountability by owning our own mistake. We can apologize and also make amendments. And this goes both ways in relationships. When we make mistakes, we need the other person to allow us to acknowledge our mistakes, say we're sorry, and try to patch things up. V for vault. So we will have a trust relationship by not sharing personal information. How many times you heard, oh, you've been in that situation, so you understand? So keep personal information when it is, we call it the vault. And some relationships in the companies are based on gossip. And what happened on gossip? I for integrity. Integrity is more than just name our values. It's living according to our values. So it's choosing courage over comfort. It's choosing what's right over what's fun and easy. How many of us then have the integrity with ourselves? How many of us, we were in a meeting, right? And you had a great idea. And you were about to raise your hand and just share, and you hold it. Meanwhile, one of your colleagues shared that idea and you say, fudge, I should have just shared that idea. How many of you have it happen for you in the meeting? Not be able to, something stopped you because you didn't feel safe sharing information in a meeting. Choosing courage over comfort. Not judgment. So I will have a relationship with you and you will have a relationship on trust with me about being vulnerable to ask help and not be judged. We judge, right? How many times in a day we have our opinions, but sometimes we press the trigger too fast without having the facts. G for generosity. So that means whatever my words, my action, my behavior, make the assumption, before making any assumption, check with me. Again, with my action, my words, my behaviors. So I found it interesting to share that with you about the acronym of BRAVING, trust, because trust is a foundation of any relationship. And I believe it should be part also of the core value. Because if you have a good driving path that flows, when you look at the guiding roadmap, it will flow and get results. And when I coach CEOs or CFO, even women, and I can facilitate groups, people wants to be heard, right? They want to have a voice, want to bring their ideas. And also, it needs to be aligned with the company values, vision, mission. And there's politics everywhere, and also within the company. But how can I shine at my best and be able to develop myself as a person? As I was mentioning, how that work will add meaning to my life and how will I grow? Because the more that you're engaged, more you're motivated, you're gonna get results. So again, commitment, the significant influence of culture of commitment, equal people will aspire to go an extra mile if you have a high performance culture where it is the standard. So I would suggest all of you to look into the core value of the company you're working for, and also the mission and the vision. And what I liked about the model, the SCARF model of David Rock, and David Rock is a neuroscience doctor, and I love his model about the SCARF model, that is status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. And what about the status is our social position in relation to others? How it's accessible with your direct boss to have a relationship. Because when you are in a growth mode and you can evolve, you're not in a stress mode or the fear mode. That had an impact that not to be the best of yourself. Same with certainty. Our ability to predict outcomes, the way you communicate. When we are in an uncertainty mode, what happens? When you're uncertain, what happens?
You don't know, basically.
You get stressed? Can you see your growth when you're in uncertain? Hardly. So important when you lead, you want to lead how to share information, the way you share your information. Autonomy, sense of control over destiny. And what I like about is, are you a micromanagement or a macro management? The more you're capable to be autonomous about how you excel in your position, will give you more growth. That's someone that comes every 5 minutes. Imagine someone comes every 10 minutes, check, half an hour, an hour. How would you feel? How would you feel?
Annoyed.
Annoyed. Relatedness. Are we part of in group or not? Do you feel part of the group where you're working? Do you feel that synergy within the group? Come on.
I do in my group.
Yeah? You do your group?
Yeah.
Good. No, bad. Depends. Important. Because when you feel that you're rejecting your feeling, that when do you believe that you feel motivated for growth? Fairness, the same thing. Are we treated in a just way? Right? Not only salary, but preferences. So my colleagues in neuroscience, and I talked to Kenneth Nowak, who's a doctor, and they're based in California, and they have different tools to leverage and to know the level of the molecule of trust. They call it the moral molecule. And the brain treat many social threats and rewards with the same intensity as the physical threats and rewards, believe it or not, when we look at a scan curve. What I'm saying is, if you want to make sure that your employees feel at ease, you want to bring them in the growth mode instead of a scarcity mode, right? And we were talking about the hormones, and I just want to have an exercise here. Toma, can you come up here, please?
Stand back.
Toma is working, this is the president. And this is all, the board members, and you have investors. And Toma is a manager who opened a third shift. And respect the deadline to hire 50 employees, opening a new plan on the third shift, okay? And now what you're gonna do, you're gonna stand up. And you're gonna tell Thomas that he did a great job. And he's not even aware, he's in a meeting, but you're gonna tell him that he did a great job, how you're proud of what he's done. And colleagues will stand up and clap. That's it.
The camera.
Do I have to stand for the camera?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're on camera.
Thomas, you did a really great job. I'm really proud of you.
I did?
You did.
Why
You
you
did a great
say so?
job. Oh, because you opened the plants that we need you to open with minimal budget and payroll issues.
No, money lady. Okay.
Something like that. Thank you. Everyone give him a round of applause.
Toma, how do you feel? It's unexpected, you're in a meeting, the CEO stands up, provide you feedback about your work, and you have your colleagues acknowledging.
Well, coming from her, I'm proud.
No, but
Yeah,
how do you feel? It's unexpected, a reward mode, you're getting feedback,
I gotta show the dopamine.
and
I'm feeling proud, happy,
mm,
not for me, for the factory itself.
the victory. If I take a blood sample of Thomas before, at the level of oxytocin, and I take a blood sample, and this is supported by Dr. Actually, I doctor all that. His level of oxytocin will be higher in his blood sample. You understand what I mean? Reward, when you're in reward mode, and we're not gonna get into neurotransmitter, the Olympic and everything. However, just an example, when you get into a growth mode, how it has an impact. Whatever your culture you're from, color, race, the body, how it reacts to reward and when you feel safe. And that's why I'm talking about psychological safety. And I have a voice, and I talk about trust as well. I believe these are component important that be part of the core values. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Actually, I drive her to say that.
Good. Questions? So long-term engagement, long-term retention, as well as performance are both fueled by engagement. So performance is related to engagement. So also I kind of add a Canva culture for people who wants to use it. There's different Canva. And it goes about purpose, values, the behavior we reward and need to change, right? How do we encourage people to speak up? How do we promote collaboration? Our norms and rules, how we can clarify expected behavior, right? In terms of norms and rules, how do we converse and collaborate in our meetings, right? And what about decision-making and our ritual? What are our ways to manage and celebrating our projects? Does it help you? Companies, I find it interesting. Companies that have great values and then follow, would say, when walk the talk about Aaron Corporation. The values such as integrity and communication. The company involvement in fraud in 2001, remember? Was a prominent example of corporation misconduct. What about Wells Fargo? Value were on trust and customer focus. They faced a scandal in 2016 when it was revealed that employees had created millions of unauthorized customers' accounts to meet sales targets. What about Volkswagen? Value was commitment to sustainability and ethical practices. Remember that? in 2015. Do you know how collateral damage it produced to employees as well? They were one of the company that was named best company to work for, believe it or not, until they sacked them. They hired a consultant, they met everyone, they fired high management, and they had to regain trust. But imagine employees that drive Volkswagen and they have their neighbors. You wouldn't believe what some of their employees went through. Walking our values are so important. When you look at other companies, the impact, the downside of not following your values. And also look at Facebook. Values about connecting people and fostering an open community. And not long ago as well, there were criticism about issue related to privacy, misinformation, and also the impact of algorithm of user behaviors, right? So do we walk the talk? And I always say, one pair of eyes on others, how many pair of eyes on you when you manage? Huh? One pair of eyes, 20. This was just an introduction of culture.
Thank you, Liane. Anybody have any questions for Liane? Several companies that I've worked with, several clients of mine have policies when they hire people. They hire them based on how good a match they are with company values. And have you noticed, I mean, have you seen that, and do you notice whether or not it actually improves performance, engagement, and so on with the companies that we see that?
It does. It does. It's one of the components. It's one of the components. The value. It's important because again, it set the behaviors. You know that, like I said, what is visible and what is not, right? So yes, it is. And I actually have a client. They're Italian. They're engineers. And they work for Big Carbon. They start their own business. And you know, I'm Italian, but they're very, it's a family. So they fight, they kiss, they make up in like 15 minutes. But I had to coach them to retract themselves and do this, you know, kind of not in front of their employees. But it was open for them. It was like normal. But when we kind of went through their HR structure, we had to write also the value, but also they mentioned a family value, Italian culture, and upon the process and the objective, the goals, we need to set up, yes, values and an impact as well for hiring. Yes, we see a difference.
Any other comments or questions? Yes.
Follow up on what you're saying. What is your opinion about the personality test in the hiring process? I've seen a lot of that where you're assigned to take some standardized test and they'll prove you if you're a certain way or not.
Tests is, I'm not against tests because there's the DISC test and there's other good tests out there. I believe interview with situations, with hands-on situation, how people react. It's a good tool, but I wouldn't say I would put all my eggs in the same basket. It is. But there's also the way you set up your interviews is important as well. Not only closed question, but also open question.
Yes.
How do you keep, or what's the best strategy to keep culture on the new normal with the hybrid teams, all distributed? How do you keep the culture of a company when you have teams in Zoom and in hybrid mode?
How do you keep the culture running?
Company culture, the
Yeah.
environment.
When
The
you are-
environment. A good question. Because when you're hired, and if it's question are part of the values are part of culture, because that set the behavior, the core values is very important. But I believe it's important to bring that up to your employees, and also the assessment. When you have assessment, it's not only yearly, but you should have not only objective, but events are good to remind people that they have a voice to depending on the values of the company that set the culture. And you need to have also KPI on them as well.
You know, something that our team is doing a lot that I like is we start meetings with like a team builder activity. Usually something short and fun. Like today we did one that's like Valentine's Day songs and like lyrics, guess the lyrics, something like, you know, has nothing to do with work. But it's like nice 15 minutes, we all laugh. So something like that I think sometimes helps because most people are remote now, right? And some of the team is in, some of them aren't. So I think it's nice to sometimes start meetings with something that's not really work related. And then you start learning a little bit more about people and how they kind of fit in culture. So just a recommendation for you.
Thank you.
And also what I see, it's like meeting one-on-one with our employees, have lunch, and because we see more and more in the skills and abilities and flexibility, empathy, more and more to be at that connection with your employees is so important. You don't know what's the words that you're choosing or that can affect one of your employees. You don't know what people go through, and it's important that to keep that connection. So for me, leading in a safe environment is so important. How do we do that every day when we go through stress? And we're kind of with Dr. Jekyll's and Hyde. You know, it's part of our personality. When we go stressed, how we react, what we say can have an impact on someone and has an impact of engagement and motivation. So your leadership style is very important. The way you set up the example aligned with the core values, and it should be reflected as well in the assessment. Not only on performance. Does it make sense? Thank you.
One thing that I've noticed is that the real culture, the real values of the company come out when they're under pressure.
Mhm.
You know, when things are going nice and smooth, they can say anything they want, and they do, obviously. But when they get under pressure, like Wells Fargo having to make more sales, you know, then all of a sudden the values don't mean anything. Then the real culture comes out, which in the real culture was not a good one. Do you see that in a lot of places, or you know, how should a company try to overcome that and have, you know, their real culture 100% of the time, not just when things are going well?
Well, I believe that more and more companies are more aware now of how employees are such important, you know, it's so hard to attract and to find the right person. However, coaching for big organization, it's hard to move the Titanic, right? And I believe to just start by small changes, it's by small behaviors. That's what I would suggest, small things that you can work on. Each company is very different. Okay. And sometimes you have somebody new on board and they want to prove themselves, and even though they know what is the conduct way, there's an adjustment and it's not sometimes obvious. So yes, it is still a big challenge when you're on pressure.
Liane, I want to thank you very much.